She was the last of the pharaohs, a woman whose name has been synonymous with power, beauty, and mystery for over 2,000 years. Welcome to the definitive story of Cleopatra. Born in 69 BC, she was the descendant of Ptolemy Soter, Macedonian Greeks who had claimed the throne of Egypt for 3 centuries. Her home was Alexandria, the most sophisticated city on earth, where the knowledge of the East and West converged into a vibrant, intellectual center. From a young age, she was a keen observer of power, witnessing the complex and often deadly politics of her father's royal court. She was educated at the Mouseion, a sanctuary of knowledge that housed the greatest minds and the largest library in history. In the Great Library, she received an education unlike any other, mastering subjects from mathematics to astronomy and ethics. She mastered mathematics and geography, seeing the world through the lens of logic, a foundation for her future statecraft. Fascinated by the natural world, she conducted scientific experiments and authored pioneering treatises on chemistry and medicine. Her interest extended to toxicology, a study that would serve her both as a protector of her people and in her final moments. She was a polyglot of incredible talent, reportedly speaking 9 languages fluently, allowing her to govern without the need for interpreters. Crucially, she was the first of her line to learn the native Egyptian language, bridging the gap between her dynasty and her people. In 51 BC, her father died. At 18, Cleopatra took the throne, co-ruling with her 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy III. But her brother's advisors were ambitious, scheming to remove the brilliant queen and seize total control of Egypt's immense wealth. By 48 BC, the rivalry had broken into a civil war. Cleopatra was forced into exile, but she was far from defeated. In the desert, she gathered an army of mercenaries, waiting for the perfect moment to reclaim her royal birthright. That moment came with the arrival of Julius Caesar, who came to Alexandria in pursuit of his own Roman rivals. To reach Caesar through her brother's blockade, Cleopatra devised one of history's most daring political maneuvers. Caesar was struck not just by her presence, but by her clear strategic vision for a stable and prosperous Egypt. The alliance sparked a brutal winter of urban warfare, the siege of Alexandria, where Caesar fought to maintain his grip on the capital. It ended at the Battle of the Nile. Her brother's forces were crushed, and Cleopatra was restored to her father's throne. In June 47 BC, she bore Caesar a son, Caesarion. He was the living link between the might of Rome and the divinity of Egypt. Cleopatra traveled to Rome as a visiting head of state, stunning the Roman elite with her wealth, her beauty, and her mind. But her world was shattered on the Ides of March. Caesar was assassinated, and Cleopatra fled Rome to protect her son and her crown. Back in Egypt, she focused on her domestic rule, managing a kingdom that was now the last bastion of independence in the East. She was a brilliant administrator. When the Nile failed to flood, she personally managed the grain stores to prevent a national famine. She stabilized the economy by increasing the minting of coins, aligning Egyptian currency with the Roman denarius for trade. Rare documents show her direct involvement in governance, signing off on complex bureaucratic decrees with her own hand. The death of Caesar left a power vacuum in Rome. To survive, Cleopatra needed a new protector. She found him in Mark Antony. Their meeting at Tarsus was a masterclass in diplomacy and optics. She arrived as the goddess Aphrodite, stunning the general. This was more than a romance. It was a pragmatic partnership. Antony needed Egyptian gold, and she needed Roman military support. In a daring move, they declared their children rulers of Rome's eastern provinces, the famous and controversial donations of Alexandria. In Rome, Octavian watched with fury. He used these donations to paint Cleopatra as a foreign queen stealing Roman territory. He launched a vicious propaganda war, characterizing her not as a brilliant ruler, but as a temptress who had corrupted a general. War was now inevitable. Cleopatra and Antony assembled one of the largest naval fleets in the history of the ancient world. The fate of the entire Mediterranean was about to be decided on the waves. The stage was set for the Battle of Actium. On September 2, 31 BC, the fleets met. It was a chaotic and bloody clash of Roman discipline and Egyptian wealth. As the battle turned against them, Cleopatra made a controversial decision to retreat with her fleet, and Antony followed. They fled back to Alexandria, leaving their dreams of empire behind. Octavian was now the undisputed master of Rome. A year later, Octavian arrived at the gates of Alexandria. The final independent kingdom of the East was about to fall. In their final days, they formed a society of the inseparable in death, vowing to never be taken alive by the Romans. Hearing false news of her death, Antony took his own life. He died in her arms, the last Roman to truly love her. Cleopatra met Octavian, hoping to secure the throne for her children. But she realized he only wanted her as a trophy for his triumph. She would not be paraded in Roman chains. She prepared for her final act of defiance with the same precision she brought to her rule. History remembers the asp, but the scientist in her may have chosen a more efficient, toxic ointment to ensure her peaceful departure. With her death, the 3,000-year history of the pharaohs came to an end. Egypt was now a mere province of Rome. But Cleopatra had one final secret. Her tomb was hidden so well that it would vanish from the eyes of the world for 2 millennia. Today, the search continues. Scholars believe the Temple of Isis and Osiris holds the key to her final resting place. Off the coast of Alexandria, the sea has yielded other secrets, submerged ports and palaces that once witnessed her glory. A recently discovered tunnel at Taposiris Magna has renewed hope that the final secret of the queen may soon be revealed. We may never know her true face, but the coins she minted show a woman of character and intellect, far from the femme fatale of legend. Her scientific legacy also survives in the writings of later physicians like Galen, who studied her formulas for medicine and cosmetics. She was a pioneer of international diplomacy, nearly succeeding in creating a Greco-Egyptian empire that could have rivaled Rome. Cleopatra was more than a myth. She was a brilliant ruler, a scientist, and a diplomat who fought for her people's independence. From Shakespeare to Hollywood, her story has been told and retold, reflecting each age's own desires and fears. But today, we finally recognize her for what she truly was, one of the greatest intellectual heroines of the ancient world. Her name will live on as long as the Nile flows, a testament to a mind that outshone the most powerful men of her age. Thank you for joining us on this definitive journey. Her story is not just history, it is an inspiration. Her legacy is ours to remember. To understand her rise, we must look at her childhood. She was groomed for power from the moment she could speak. Her laboratory in Alexandria was a center of scientific inquiry where she personally tested medicinal formulas. She was a master of economics, expanding trade routes that brought unimaginable wealth to the Egyptian treasury. Her administrative reforms modernized the Egyptian bureaucracy, creating a state that functioned with unprecedented efficiency. The naval construction program she launched was an engineering marvel, producing ships of unmatched size and power. At Actium, her tactical decisions were based on a complex understanding of naval warfare and the shifting winds of the Mediterranean. Octavian's propaganda was not just political, it was a psychological war designed to strip her of her dignity and her allies. Her final days were spent in a defiant sanctuary, a mausoleum she had built to ensure she would die as a pharaoh. Her son, Caesarion, remained her greatest hope. She fought to the end to secure his future as the ruler of a united world. Her scientific treatises were lost for centuries, but their influence can be seen in the medical traditions of the ancient world. The dream of finding her resting place continues to drive archaeologists, a final secret she still guards from the desert sands. Her story is written in the sands of time, a queen who challenged the might of Rome and became an immortal legend. Cleopatra was the last of the pharaohs, but her spirit remains unbroken. Her legacy will live on forever. Thank you.